next guest has starred in 4 Matrix movies, 4 Marvel TV shows, and now 1 Star Wars. She plays Jedi Master Indara in The Acolyte. New episodes of The Acolyte premiere Tuesdays on Disney+. Please welcome Carrie-Anne Moss. Great to have you here. Very nice to meet you. You've not been here before. Yeah, it's good to have you. I know you're shooting a show with Arnold Schwarzenegger right now.
Yeah, and he was really supportive of me coming because I was saying how nervous I was to do this.
Oh, are you nervous?
Yeah, it's a little, you know.
I feel like he is never nervous.
He loves it. Yeah, he said he loves coming on your show.
Yes, we always love having him here. And by the way, that fight scene, these fight scenes, I've seen but they're fantastic. I mean, is that for you like a piece of cake now? After, like, these Matrix movies, doing these fight scenes, does it come as second nature?
No, not at all. No. I had about 3 weeks to learn that fight, which is a really short amount of time for me. Because in the Matrix, for instance, like, we had 6 months to learn all that action. So I had 3 weeks, and first week I thought, I will never be able to do this. And second week I thought, I will never be able to do this. And then about midway through the 3rd week, it all just kind of came in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you practice with the other actor. You're right there with the person.
Yeah, and you have like a stunt double that kind of works with you, and so I would mirror her action, and like I had a whole team around me.
And the knife, even though it's probably a fake knife, is probably also somewhat dangerous. Yes?
No.
No. Oh.
No. I don't think so. Although I have to say, as an actor that does some action, that it can be dangerous for the stunt people because I don't know how to hold back. Right?
Right.
So I have to, like, really, like, prepare the stunt.
Same here. Guillermo will tell you, I don't hold back at all.
It's hard to hold back.
Was there a lot of secrecy on this? I know there's a Star Wars that is, like, really very top, maybe of all the movies, the most top secret situation.
Yeah, it was unusual. Like, I wasn't used to that because I'd been in other big stuff. And, but, like, when you walk out of your trailer and go to set, you have to cover your costume. And I would forget.
Oh, because the photographers somebody might snap a
but we were
picture.
on like a studio, which didn't really make a lot of sense to me, but I guess people want pictures really badly. So I would often forget. And so someone would run after me and throw a robe over me. And I'd be like, oh, I'll remember tomorrow. And then I would forget.
Were you a Star Wars fan before this? Did you know a lot about what was going on?
I mean, I enjoyed watching Star Wars as a child and going to the movies and doing that. And my family, like my husband, my children are really into it. But I don't really watch much TV, so I had to learn a lot. My kids told me a lot, my husband told me a lot. And
that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And did it give you, like, thoughts about your husband that you had not had before? Like, oh, my husband is a child.
No, my husband and my children were watching the show, like watching one of the shows, and I was, like, bringing, like, laundry to put away. And he said, you should be on one of these shows.
He did?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, maybe. And I think literally a week later, I got the offer to do it.
You willed it to happen.
Yeah.
It's like, and you didn't have to go to Jerry Bruckheimer's house. You're from Vancouver, right?
I am.
Is that where you started acting?
I started acting like in musical theater in Vancouver, but I actually started acting, I moved to Spain to be a model, and I got my first American show while I was in Spain.
What was the first American show?
It was called Dark Justice, and it was like, prime time after prime time. Do you remember that? Like in the 90s?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, so I got a really small part in that. I was absolutely the worst actor that ever lived. I was so bad.
Did you, like, learn to act while you were acting?
Like, I didn't know about hitting a mark, right? Like, all the, like, technical stuff.
Right.
I grew up watching a lot of TV, so I felt like I could do it.
And you were on the show Baywatch.
I was,
And now, I don't know if Mr. Schwarzenegger told you this, but one of the things that happens when you're on a talk show is we go through
I was thinking maybe
your
you would do
resume,
this.
and
Yeah.
then we try to dig up maybe potentially embarrassing clips from your past.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm
And-
so glad I'm here.
This is no exception.
Oh, no.
What's going on here?
Good morning.
Where am I? What the hell's going on?
Oh, I hope you slept well.
What are you doing?
I made you such a wonderful breakfast. Are you hungry? You must be. I'm gonna put it right here.
Look, Betty, you gotta get me out of here. The tide's coming in. That's a water line.
You had David Hasselhoff hostage. You know, they talk a lot about the bathing suits and whatnot on Baywatch. Rarely do they just talk about the writing and the high level of quality. I mean, that was...
It was such a highlight, though, you know? Like, when I got that job, like, I'm embarrassed because it's so silly, but I remember how excited I was,
Well,
you
I
know?
will also say that was a beautiful breakfast. I mean, it really was, like, for a kidnapper, you put together quite a meal.
I'm a great cook.
It's great to have you here. The
Thank
show
you.
is called The Acolyte. You can see it Tuesdays on Disney+. Carrie-Anne Moss, everybody. Thank you, guys. We'll be right back with Tinashe.